good afternoon, and welcome to another moment with elevation, with elevated, not tolerated. This is one of my favorite things to do with people, with individuals, and that is to always give the good news. And so on today, if you haven't already heard, today is your day. Let me just say that again for the people in the back and the people in the front and the side and underneath the covers. Today is your day. Today is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall be glad in it. Because guess what? I don't know about you, but at the end of the day, there's not a whole lot more um, that we could say that would, and I apologize because I'm multitasking, y'all. Y'all know how I do. But today is your day. Today is the day that we begin looking at things on a different level. We begin with the process, right? And so today I want to just tap into some of you all out there this afternoon that are getting ready for your lunch break. I remember working in the office, and I came home to work from home in 20 when the pandemic hit. I came home to work, and it was a great reward for me to be able to come home and work from my home office and be able to go to lunch and enjoy my lunch. But there's some things that I do miss. I do miss being able to take those long walks around the building because it's not always conducive to do so where I'm located. But I miss those long walks around the facility. Why, you might say? Because at some point it gave some opportunity and time to be able to just rest and see what the Lord had to speak to me. See, everybody gets their energy from different levels. Hey, Kelly, thanks so much for joining in and watching today. There's a lot of things, and there's a lot of energy that you can experience if you allow yourself to experience it. And walking was my thing. It was about walking around and going up the hills and through the woods and all of those great things when I was on the job. So you say, well, coach, you can still do the same thing. You are absolutely correct. But there are some things that we're going to talk about even today that, we say in a cliche way, but it doesn't truly have value to who you are and to what you're going through right now. And so we're going to be talking about today, it's not the end of the fourth quarter. It's not the end of the quarter, right? When you get to this part of the end of the year, people say, oh, we're at the end of the quarter. You don't have time to do this. It's at the end of the quarter. Can I be honest with you? It's not the end of the quarter. It's not the ending of anything. Every day is an opportunity. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. But understand that, when you're using phrases, it's important that you don't use, cliches are cute in some instances, and sometimes cliches can get you in a little bit of a trouble if you don't utilize them in the proper arena. And so we want to just tap into that today. I want to pull at your heartstrings to make you understand that today ain't the last day. It ain't the end of the quarter, right? But in the meantime, I also want to tell you, please go out there, care, share, and like this video. Bring some other folks in with you so they can be able to join in with us on today. We want to talk about different things. We want to be able to push forward with some things. Good afternoon, Coach Donna. Kate in the house. Coach Donna, I thought about you on this past week. Some things that you had encouraged me with, and I'm not back down to that weight. I won't, Donna, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But thank you for taking our time out of your busy schedule to be with us. You'll be coming back on the show for Uncensored soon. We're just going to be anticipating that because people really need to know what real holistic living is about, and it's not just a thing that you go on Google and read. It's something that you have to, actually produce, and you have to do, right? And Donna, I am definitely doing that. Coach Donna says, hey, keep pushing. Donna, I'm keep pushing, baby girl, because guess what? At the end of the day, we all know what it's really about. So we're going to keep pushing. So go out there and care, share, and like, and join, and have some people join us today, because we want to talk about some concept that we can talk about getting prepared for not the ending of the fourth quarter. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, and sometimes we always look at the underdog and say, oh, well, whatever. Don't hate. Cowboys. I've been a Cowboys fan since I was 12. And as I told a good friend of mine, I told him, I'm going to be a Cowboys fan until I fly on the other side. But I want you to go out there and care and like this video, because we want to encourage some folks on today. I'm waiting for some other people to come in. That's why I'm talking. If you have not registered for the Beauty and the Beast masterclass that is coming December the 16th, I'm gonna need you to go out there to the website and go ahead and register for that. It is going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to have some fun. You're going to do some participating in that process, and you're going to be able to see what really is Beauty and the Beast unveiled, and what it's really speaking into your heart. So let me just introduce myself to some of those of you that are watching for the first time, or maybe you just need a refresher. My name is Victoria. I am the Elevated Not Tolerated coach, if you will. Elevated Not Tolerated means to rise above anything and everything that has held us down, has caused us to feel inadequate, and has done so unpleasantly. But my friends, with you and I together, it is time for us to be empowered, embraced, and educated to be elevated and not tolerated. And you can say that on a whole big spectrum. What does that really entail? What does that really make you do? How does that really make you feel? Because sometimes we have been counted out. Sometimes we've been told that what we're doing doesn't matter. Can I encourage my entrepreneurs on today? This is not the end. This is only your beginning. When you begin to put forth your best foot forward, it can always push you to another level. One of the things I used to remember with being in the gym with Coach Donna was, I would get 3 steps extra in on a particular day, and I would be tired. And Donna would say, just keep going, keep pushing. You can do some more. The thing is, when in order to go to your next level, you got to have the right people in the right place at the right time to push you to that next level. You got to keep pushing. But that inner person in you is what needs to be pushed. Remember, the inner person on you on the inside is what counts. That's the reason why this is not the end of the quarter. This is only your beginning. When you get to that true end, there is nowhere else that you can go, right? So you're not at your end. I want you to take note that what you are speaking over your own self really does count, right? As your coach, as your elevation coach, I want to encourage you to start looking at some things on a different perspective. Even if you're not able to get to a certain place the way you want to, you have to still have goals and objectives to meet those things that you need to do. One of the things I can remember, and Coach Donna, maybe it's a good day that you're in here. I can remember, going to the gym and being, and Donna giving us instructions. See, I'm one of those people that I got to be in the house. Y'all, I can't sit on the sideline. I have to be in the house because I need that accountability. But one thing I can say about Donna was she gave me some tools that I'm able to utilize on the outside now until I can get back to where I want to in that atmosphere. So you can't stop moving because because it seems hopeless. You have to keep moving. This is not the end of your quarter. This is not, we are going into overtime. When you watch, if my football fans, my basketball fans out there, there's a lot of times that you get a tie in the game, and what happens is it kicks you into overtime. So you're not at the end of your game, my friends. You are in overtime. We talk about overflow. Let's talk about overtime. Hey, Bennett, thanks for joining. Hey, Deborah, thanks for joining. When I tell you that this is not your end, this is truly just your beginning. So the thing is, when you start releasing those negative toxic waste out of your body, be they mental, physically, or emotionally, it leaves space for you to go to that next level and push to your next point. This is not your end. This is your overflow. This is your overtime. This is your push to your next level. So what do you have to do in order to get ready for that next push in this quarter? Well, the first thing is you got to have some good team players with you, because when you are in that crunch, you need to have some positive people that can speak positively to you in your life. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of people doing a lot of chitter chatting, but are they walking the talk that they're giving you? Are they pushing you to that next level? Are they actually in your corner, or are they sitting on the sidelines saying what you could or should have do? So this is the thing. Have good people. I'm giving you some nuggets for today. Have some good people in your position, in the position to be able to help you get to that next goal. See, the thing is, when you're playing football, when you're watching the quarterback run, he's always looking for who's open to catch the ball and take them into the end zone. Do you have enough people? Do you have the right people that are on your team that can sit with you and go with you into the end zone? I don't know about you, but there's a whole lot of people doing a whole lot of chitter chat, and they're not really at the place where, and it's not because they're bad. It's because they don't have the skills to help you get to what you need. You have to make sure that you're evaluating who the people, places, and things that are in your life, and can they help you develop the process that you need to keep moving. So make sure you got the right people on your team, right? You can't have a whole lot of Chiefs if you don't have a lot of Indians. I'm just going to let you just know that sometimes you have to reevaluate who your teammates are. Some people have to be put in certain positions in order for them to help you move to their next level. It's coming up in the next couple of weeks. Well, actually starting this Saturday, we're going into our next positive self-building class, and that's building positive relationships. And one of the things that we're going to be talking through in those 6 weeks is, how do you know what position somebody is in your life? If you're building a positive relationship, you'll take some positive techniques in order to get them into that position with you. So the first thing, like I said before, is knowing who your teammates are, knowing who your players are, because you got to have somebody that's going to get you to the end of the, into the end zone, if you will. The next thing is, what kind of play do you have when you're working with that person, right? Because one of the techniques that we're going to be talking about in the positive self-building class is, what kind of skills does that person bring, but what position are you going to put them in, right? There's some people that work great behind the scenes. They do all of the leg work that you never see what's happening until the day of that football game. That I'm playing with the football games, guys. So go out there and tell some of my buddies, Benny, I'm giving some techniques and some, information for my football buddies out there. So the thing is, once you got your team together, every great football team has a good play, right? Every team is always noted for something that they do on the field. Either it's their victory dance, or either it's a quick move that they make on the football team. It's something that is unique to your team. But how does that happen? The team has got to be developed to have a strategic plan that is effective for their team. So once you find the team, the second thing you need to do is have a strategic plan in place for each player on the team. The quarterback has a job, the linebacker has a job, the forerunner has a job. Everybody on the team has a specific job. So when you're building positive relationships, everybody has a position on the team, but everybody has certain characteristics and certain things that they must do. You need to ask yourself, what did you give your teammates the position to do? Did you make it clear that if you are the running back, that your job is to run as fast as you can and get that ball? That's not really the position, but I'm just giving you just an example. Sometimes you got to ask yourself, you got to say to yourself, my friends, that the person that you put in that position really can't carry the ball, right? When you find out that there are certain people, places, and things that's on your team that can't carry the weight, it's time to reevaluate and replace. It is nothing wrong with replacing things, people, places, and things in your life. If it's not, what my students, if you're out there, you know my theory. If it's not helping you grow, then it's time to let it go. Hey, Tracy, thanks for joining. When I tell you that this is sometimes important for us to understand how important team members are. So again, for those that are just turning in, those that are just watching, the first two things that we're talking about today about you not ending this fourth quarter is, first, evaluate who's on your team. Do you know who's on your team? And what are the criteria and the characteristics of their job? You got to know what is happening on the team in order for someone to actually play on the team. So once you've done that, now it's time to get that strategic plan out there, and let's determine what kind of play we're going to have. This is the thing, my friends. Sometimes you got too many people on your team that don't understand what your vision and your goal is. That's the reason why you got to have the right people at the right time on your team. Again, going back to that first point, who's playing on the team? And what are their specific jobs? If you've given somebody a job, you're going to tell them what their job is. Hey, Pastor Sheena, thank you so much for joining, my friend, the confirmationer. I appreciate you, my friend, on today. See, this is the thing. If you are working with that strategic plan and it doesn't fit all of the criteria, then you have to reevaluate. So it's time to go back to the 3S theory. Of those of you that follow me, those of you that have attended my classes, and those of you who attended my workshops, know that I talk very much about the 3S theory. It's a theory that I created, that God downloaded to me. And it's 3 things that you need to keep. And this is just life in general, my friends. 3S theory. I'm giving this to you for no time, no cost at all on today. The 3S theory consists of 3 things. 3 S's, right? The first one is this: complete silence. Complete silence. Let's take a second and just go complete silence. What does silence do? It clears the mind, it clears the atmosphere, it clears all of the negative toxins in the atmosphere. A lot of times people don't understand why you get quiet, but it's necessary if you are the captain of the team. Right? If you're the head honcho on your team, then you're the person who's got to be quiet. So everybody's got to be quiet so they can be able to hear what you're producing, right? But in order to evaluate effectively, silence must come into your mind. This is a time where we as people, places, and things across the board, we're always wanting to know everything, or we want to be a part of everything, but everything isn't for everybody. Can I just say that again for the people in the back? Everything is not for everybody. So silence stops the shenanigans in the atmosphere. Have you ever had someone say it's time for us just to get quiet? Have you ever just said shh in the room? Sometimes I hear my daughter talking to my grandson because he's a constant talker. He loves to talk. It's amazing the vibes that he gives off. But sometimes she said, shh, can you just be quiet so I can talk? Sometimes you're talking too much and your team is talking too much and nobody's really listening, right? So once you have figured out who's on your team, you figured out what their job titles is. Now it's to have a strategic plan. The strategic plans comes through silence. Everybody got to shut their mouth except the person in charge. Whoop. I apologize if I just if you are not the head, sometimes you need everybody else to be quiet in order for you to experience again what your vision is, right? When I broke away in the last year from a whole lot of people talking in my ear, I was able to hear again what the strategic plan was for Elevated Not Tolerate. What is the true purpose of Victoria Elevates? It is to empower, embrace, and educate other people not to be tolerated. So when you get to that point, when everything is silence around you, you can hear your God. You can hear what God is speaking to you. You can hear clearly what your vision and your dreams are. Because sometimes you just don't understand why you're not effectively doing what you're doing. It is not the end of your quarter. You just need to reevaluate your play. Hello, how you doing? Thank you very much. You just need to reevaluate your plan by being silenced. So then the next thing that can happen is that strategic plan. When you get quiet, when you get silent, that's when the strategic planning process comes into play. Mm-hmm. Some of us in the business industry, we sit around the table and we start brainstorming. Do you not understand that sometimes God is brainstorming with you, but you're so engulfed with all of the clutter around you, all of the peoples and the naysayers and the doomsayers, that you're not being able to effectively hear what you need to hear? It's time to shut it down, shut the silence down, and to activate that second piece, that strategic planning piece. Only a few people on your team can sit in on your brainstorming event. Okay, let me just get this to you again. There's some people you have in your place that don't need to be in your corner. It's time to shut it off, shut it down. If it's not helping you grow, then it's time to let it go. Let me tell you something. Pastor Shinny, you said this morning in your post. Sometimes who counted you out? Hunte, let me just be honest with you. Ain't nobody counting me out until I close the doors. At the end of the day, you have to look at the strategic plan that you have been appointed and assigned to do, right? Once you get that strategic plan in place, then it's time for you to show up. When you get on that football field, baby, let me just tell you what happens on that football field. When they come out there, this is what happens. The next thing you see is everybody gets in a huddle. Well, they got the strategic plan, but every now and then you need to remind everybody on the team what their position is. Some people have positions and then they want to override what the coach says. Sometimes they want to override what the quarterback says. Sometimes you got to get in the huddle. Hello, everybody get in your huddle and tell everybody, look, remind Sister Sally, remind Sister John, Brother John, remind Pop, Poo, and Choo and Cuckoo and all of the gang, all of the Fat Albert gang, tell all of them to get in the huddle so we can have a quick second so we can refresh what your next move is. Once you have that, you got that huddle in place, look at the football team. Once they get into the huddle, baby, and they do that little cheer or whatever it is that they want to do, the next move that they have is they exercising what the strategic plan is. Baby, this is not the ending. This is only the beginning. It is your overflow season for you to see what you're getting ready to walk into next. It is time for us to be able to understand that nothing stops happening. Life continues every single second of the day. It is up to us to decide when we're going to get into the game and play it for all it's worth. Can I be honest with you? There have been some moments, sometimes I've had to go back to the drawing board and say, let me reevaluate. Right? In the last 2 years, I have been able to show you, I can dictate to you some techniques and some skills and some things that I've had to use in order to reevaluate the people that are in my life. When you can reevaluate the people in your personal life, then you're able to see things greater for your own self. What's holding you down? What's sabotaging you? Can I be real with you? There's a lot of things that's sabotaging you. But one of the things is something that I can show you very clearly. And I've written the book and I got proof. So I'm going to take a 30-second break and I'm going to show you what you're working with in some cases that you're dealing with. Because we got to come to the real table and understand what is keeping us from getting to that end zone. Hold your thought, take a look. Okay, y'all know I love to dance. So check it out. Some of the reason why you are calling the game over, the quarters over, you at the end, whatever, is because you're still trying to people please. So I'm going to need you to go ahead and pre-order that book right there because it's going to be coming to you so that you can be able to understand what we need to stop doing. Because, baby, Can I just tell you again? If it ain't helping you grow, then it's time to let it go. People pleasing is one of the most delicate statements in situations that we as individuals don't want to talk about because of the very fact of what it is. We keep people pleasing because number one is we don't want to hurt nobody. But the whole time you're hurting the main character on your team. You're hurting the quarterback on your team because you are allowing yourself to worry about what everybody else is doing around you, and you're taking in that consideration and not you. It ain't nothing wrong with a little love. Okay, I'm sorry. That was my boy Kelly said. But there's nothing wrong with us being able to be important to ourselves in this process. You have a great aspect, a great vision that is waiting on you. There are people, places, and things that are waiting to hear you. You may say, well, I've been doing this for 10, 12, 13, 14 years, and they don't look like nobody coming, ain't nobody participating. Baby, when you stop to look at your team, could it be the people that you have on your team that's causing the people not to come to you? Could it be that you are allowing the talking in your ears to prevent you? Could it be that you are pleasing everybody but what the vision is? The Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. So once you have wrote the vision and you have made it plain, it's time to get up to the gameplay and play it. It's time to tell your quarterback and your team, look, baby, I'm the coach, I'm the captain, I'm the lead, I'm the head. If you don't like what I'm giving out, then maybe you need to find a new team to play on. At the end of the day, it's about you. It's about, we say it all the time, cliches again. It ain't about me, it's about the Lord. That is true. But you can't do the Lord's work if you stick in your own. If you're stuck in your own cave. Can I just say it like that? Pastor Shannon, can you help a sister out? Because can you pray for a sister? Because at the end of the day, it is not about you. It is about you to some degree, because you have to be in position in the mind. You have to be in position in the body. You have to be in the mind, in the position spiritually. Your mindset has to be in a place where you can give direction to your team. How can you? How can you? Thank you, Pastor Shane. I'm glad somebody got it covered. Thank you, Pastor. See, at the end of the day, this is the thing. If you are not ready, if you are still worrying about people pleasing everybody else, how can you be in the lead position? Maybe it's time for you to set down the people pleasing, and let's move into the pleasing of serving the people. See, the football game is all for us to sit and enjoy, but guess what? They get paid, baby. Can I be honest with you? It's time for us to look at some things in a different perspective. It's time for us to get on board, because baby, I'm not at the end of the football game. Baby, I'm right there at the overtime level. I'm going to make some extra plays just because I'm in the overtime zone. I don't know about you. I don't know who I'm talking to today, but maybe today is your day where you need to ask yourself this question: who's on my team that I can really depend on? Is it possible it's time for you to retire and pass the buck to somebody else? See, this is the thing. What I'm working towards is being able to deliver some things to somebody else so they can move forward. What is your position? See, this is the thing. I don't know about you, and I don't know who I'm talking to today, but baby, can I be honest with you? I'm trying to get to the other side of the game. I want to get to the end zone so that I can do the happy dance with you. I am more inclined to see you prosper than what I do is prospering. See, this is the thing. That's when it becomes about somebody else. When you can be an eagle, because see, I'm an eagle soaring. Pastor Shane, I say this all the time. Eagles soar, but chickens cluck. Baby, I am an eagle soaring, and I choose to make sure that you are soaring with me, above me, and on the other side of me. See, this is the thing. You ain't got time to be sitting around playing games with the same old jokers that you've been playing with. It's time for you to get out there on the field. Some of y'all went back and sat down on the bench. Excuse me. I don't think that's why you need to be. You don't know. You no longer need to be sitting on the sideline on the bench. You need to get into the game and let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to do some things. This is a time. Do you understand how many people are dying on a daily basis and they're waiting for you? In this last week alone, there's been 5 or 6 people that I have known. They have gone on and their stories are ended. Their game is over. But baby, if you woke up this morning in your half of your right mind, because some of y'all ain't got them. Anyway, if you woke up with half of your right mind today, then God intended for you to continue to do something that you need to do. Stop waiting on the sideline. Ask the coach, can you get back in the game? It's time for you to get off the bench and get into the game. It's time for you to move to your next level. Hey, baby, let's talk about it. It's time for us to stop pretending that we are satisfied when we're not satisfied. If you are satisfied with sitting on the sideline, make sure you're doing something productive on the sideline, because some of us, baby, they counted us out. They put us on the sideline. They counted us out. But this is the time in the season where you got to understand who is in your corner. It's time. It's so much time. I apologize. I smell something burning. It's all good. But at the end of the day, ask yourself this question: who on my team? Who's my team? Who's sitting on the sideline? What's the characteristics I want to give them? Have we developed a strategic plan for everybody to get into the game? And what's your next move? What is your next move? Are you ready? The cheerleaders go, are you ready? Wish my daughter wasn't here. She could do it. I was never a cheerleader. I was a cheerleader coach, believe it or not. But they would do this little hand thing. Are you ready? Let's go. So I'm your cheerleader today. Are you ready? Let's go. It's time to move. It's time to move. This is not the end of the quarter, baby. This is overtime. Some of you will work overtime for them folks, but you won't work overtime for yourself. I'm going to need you to get in the game. I'm going to need you to understand that if you give up now, who's going to get the overflow? It's time for you to put on your happy clothes and develop some real personal relationships. It's time for you to understand that this is the time for you to put some real people in the game with you. Maybe you just need some assistance, if you will, with finding out who's really in your corner. Can I be honest with you? Just like you do on a job, and I'm going to close with this. Sometimes when people are being evaluated for a job, what do? They go through an interview process, baby. And then if you're good enough, they bring you back for the second time. Do you know the real reason why they do that? Because I used to be a manager. The reason why they bring you back for the second time, because I want to see if your game is still the same. Do you know that some people go to Pastor Sheena? Sometimes people will go for a job interview, and sometimes when they go back for their second interview, they don't tell the same story. This is an indication that maybe you don't want them on your team. You got to stop and take time and reevaluate. When you're in overtime, sometimes you got to relook at their gameplay and see, where did you miss the ball last time? Did you throw it in the end zone? Did you throw it to Johnny, but Johnny won't nowhere near it? Did you throw it to Sally when you just needed some? Hey, come on. I used to play volleyball. Sometimes you got to spike that ball the right way. I'm a right-hand spiker. Man, baby, let me just tell you, there's a way that you can hit that ball that it will go over that net. Have you got the right person that can help you hit that ball over that net? Maybe you need to come and let us have a little bit more conversation, because sometimes it's about you understanding Maybe sometimes you got to remind somebody what their position is. Maybe you need to replace somebody on the field because you're trying to get to the end zone. And if you don't have the right team, players, what's that old saying? Teamwork makes the dream work. Maybe you don't have the team that's working together to get to the dream. Look at your vision. Look at your playbook. Look where you're trying to get to and find out if you got the right people in there. Because, baby, it's time for us to move to that next level, honey. I'm going to the end zone. I'm making all the touchdowns that I can before I turn to another leaf. Pastor Sheena, there's some folks out there today that I want to say to you all out there that's listening or watch later. It's time for you to get your team together. And sometimes it just might be you. How you develop the people around you makes a whole world of a difference. Who you have listening and watching your playbook makes all of the difference to the game. Find out who you got on your team. Ask them, do they know what their characteristics of what their position requires them to do? Ask yourself, have you got the right person in position? As leaders, can I just say this to my leaders out there? It's time sometime for you to reevaluate who's on your team. Are they not seeing the real? Are they not seeing what is needed right now? Did they forget what it looked like when they came on the team? Did they have that? Sometimes you need to revamp the team, baby, and it's okay. Doesn't mean they're bad, doesn't mean they're good. It's just not going with your vision. That's all it is. It's just sometimes we as individuals are saying too many things cliche-ishly that doesn't, I'm just making up the word, cliche-ishly. I know that's not a word. Look, but I'm telling you, sometimes we've said it so much that we're afraid to let it go. Maybe you need to attend this class.
Oh, yeah. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Na, 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 na.
See, some of y'all can't even dance because you're so bogged down. Maybe it's time for you to evaluate and see if it's time for you to help build and be a positive role model to somebody else. Maybe it's time for you to build positive relationships. But in order for you to do that, the first thing you got to do is look at yourself. Because self means seeing every level form. That's my tag, y'all. Seeing every level form. Sometimes you haven't seen your full potential, so you can't see the full potential in somebody else. Baby, it's time to get your team together. It starts within the root of you. Your team can only do what they see you do. Have you ever watched a child? I'm giving about 5 more minutes. Have you ever seen a child who watches the parent and turns around and does exactly what the parent does? That's why we got to be careful who we are associated with. One of the things that's in the class that's coming up, started on Saturday, is this. It's going to teach us how we effectively deal with other people. Everybody that's saying your friend ain't your friend. They just associates. Identify what people are. It begins with the team, begins what's inside of us. You got to have a team mind in order to have a team. You got to know what it's like to build relationships. Some of you are so cold-hearted and cold-blooded that you don't want to even be a team player. You just want to be alone. Well, baby, be by yourself. Because I'm a team player. But some of y'all make my hair show up. Pastor Sheena, Deborah. Sometimes y'all make my hair show up. And then she got to show out to get you back into position. So, my friends, it's been my pleasure to be with you on today. It is Talking Tuesday we're talking about it's time for us not to look at that cliche and say we're at the end of the quarter, because we're not. This is in overtime, baby. So hashtag all day long, I'm in overtime. I'm in overtime. My apostle said this last night, and I almost fell out on the floor when he was on the prayer call. He said, no more crumbs. So I'm telling you, tell everybody it's overtime, because there's no more crumbs, because today is your day. No more of this I can't. Now it's time for you to go in overtime and reevaluate who's on your team. Do they know their position? And let's get to the strategic plan to make it happen. Look for us tomorrow. It's Wednesday. Tomorrow is even when Wednesday on tomorrow. We'll be back right here at 12 o'clock for your lunch and time with me. Look, guess what? We're going to be talking about tomorrow what happens when it's over. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. What happens when it's over? Even then, even when. What happens when you go into overtime, man? What happens? We'll come back tomorrow. We're going to talk a little bit about it so that you'll be able to maneuver to that next level. Because guess what? I'm Coach Victoria, and it's time for you to be empowered, embraced, and educated to be elevated and not tolerated. We will see you tomorrow at noon.